1987 brought us a teen comedy called 3 O'Clock High. To this very day, it is one of my favorite films of all time. It's in my top 20, and there are very few comedies that are actually in my top 20, but this is one of them. And it's funny because this is 1987. It's directed by Phil Joanou, who's also known for directing U2, Rattle and Hum, State of Grace, Heaven's Prisoners, an excellent director. And I think this is his one of his earliest works, of course. And this was at a time when 80s teen comedies were dominated by John Hughes type films, and they always tried to set the styles of what the kids wore and their hairstyles. So when you would watch a movie set in high school in the 80s, don't be surprised if characters are wearing, or they have hairstyle like from Flock of Seagulls, or they're dressed in audacious clothes like Ducky, for example. If you remember Ducky from one of the John Hughes films, I think it's pretty in pink, but nobody in my high school dressed like Ducky. That's the problem. Like, and so oftentimes, films from the 80s set in high schools, I didn't recognize those high schools. 3 O'Clock High, I recognized that high school because all the kids inside that high school looked like the kids in my high school. That's what they wore, their hairstyles, everything. And so it helps when you can identify with with the situation you're in and the surroundings. So this movie stars Casey Samajko, who you might know from Young Guns. He was also in the Back to the Future films, and he plays a sort of average Joe high schooler who ends up accidentally having, ticking off a new high school bully who just shows up at high school that day. And there's a reputation surrounding this bully. His name is Buddy Revell, played brilliantly by Richard Tyson, and who you may know as the villain in Kindergarten Cop, among many other films. And what essentially happens is it follows our hero, Jerry Mitchell, the Casey Samajko character, as he's sort of dreading 3 o'clock. He's trying to get through the rest of the school day, figuring out how he can get out of this fight. How he's able to, how's he going to deal with this? Because there's no way he's going to be able to fight this guy. And he's surrounded by his friends. He's got a little sister, Stacy Glick, who you see here. There's a few ladies in the movie who may or may not end up being future romantic interests for Jerry Mitchell. But it's all sort of suspenseful, but also very, very funny. And the humor is timeless. There's no fart jokes. There's no crude humor. There's no sort of humor that would be seen as controversial today, which certainly would have been the case with a lot of 80s comedies. It's humor that we can all kind of identify with. Have you ever had to do something that you dreaded? Well, there's a lot of humor that takes advantage of that type situation in this film. And here you have one of the potential romantic interests. This actress's name, I believe, is Anne Ryan. And if sharp-eyed viewers may recognize her in a scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but she is actually quite terrific in this film. But this film is also, it's called 3 O'Clock High because it's kind of a spoof also on old westerns like High Noon. Like High Noon, the whole film was about, the sheriff of a town having to wait for some guys who are coming to, I think, basically coming to kill him. So anyway, it's a spoof on those type of westerns, and it really has fun with it. It has fun with the concept. There's lots of situations that Jerry goes through, which are just all they're doing is reminding him of the impending doom that he's to possibly face at 3 o'clock. And what I really want to also mention is the style of the film. Phil Joanou, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but he really pulls out all the stops in terms of the filmmaking here. The cinematography is excellent. There's lots of stylistic camera shots. The music by Tangerine Dream and Sylvester Levy is also excellent. And again, that's the other thing. A lot of '80s comedies, a lot of '80s teen movies feature music that is so '80s that it ends up feeling dated if you watch it now. But interestingly, this music still holds up. It's very peppy at times, and it really adds to the suspense and to the humor. And this is just a really good time. It's about 97 minutes long, and it is a fun time. It was dismissed by critics, as I say, as a silly comedy, but it's one of those films. And as I watched it in the '80s, I knew this is a good film and it's going to last because it just has elements that are going to be timeless. And so all these other highly acclaimed '80s, high school comedies end up feeling dated now. I suppose some people still enjoy those John Hughes type comedies, but they're clearly dated. They're very '80s, and this movie, while also kind of '80s, as you see, the Anne Ryan character is wearing something, a bit stylish, but there's a reason for it. She's dressed all in black because she just felt like it was going to be that kind of day. Anyway, it's all part of the fun, but this is a film that was kind of forgotten about, but it does feel like it's one of those films that really gets better with age and has become more appreciated with time.